Welcome to the Exposure Magazine podcast from the heart of the British nuclear test survivor community.
Today on Veterans Memories, we are going to hear My Experience on Christmas Island by Brian Boswell, as printed in the Spring 2026 edition of Exposure Magazine. I would like to tell you of some experiences on Christmas Island, 1957, 1958. I am now 86 years old and have had some nasty things happen too during my life. On the island, I, like many others, did all sorts of work to prepare for the Grapple X H-Bomb. Apart from the scientists, there were 7 of us. 3 erectors, a mobile crane driver, a heavy goods vehicle driver, and the NCO in charge of us. Our task was to drive to the nearest land point to the detonations across desert coral sand, where there were no tracks or roads. When arriving at the destination, we found a huge glass encasement holding various scientific instruments for observing the tests. Our task was to build a domed steel shelter to protect all of the encased instruments from the damage of the detonations. Each day, the heavy goods driver delivered sections of the shelter while the mobile crane driver unloaded the truck and then swung each individual section in place for us to position. We had brakes and sat in the spare seats in the crane and the truck. It took us about a week to finish the job, and we slept at D site camp some miles inland from the coast. The size of the shelter was approximately 2 meters high with a 30-foot circumference. Soon after we finished D site, we built an aircraft hangar at the airport on the island. The rainy season was upon us, and the plant driver got a vehicle bogged down in a lagoon. We managed to connect a pulley from a heavy-duty lorry to the stranded wagon, but found it was pulling the heavy-duty lorry towards it. We eventually swung the cable around a palm tree and used that to pull the stranded wagon out. We were all cold, as it was raining all the time, so a man ration from the Navy was put into a tea for us all to warm us up. It appears that the palm trees were well rooted on the island. The first detonation of Grapple X was the first successful detonation for the UK and entered us as one of the countries with a nuclear deterrent. I made a point of looking up the different means of detonations. Grapple X was detonated by fission, whilst the next H-bomb, B being even bigger, R was detonated by fusion. I read into the difference between the two. Fission used a small explosion to start a larger one, spreading nasty fallout and scattering it everywhere, whilst fusion does not. It made me think that fission is more dangerous. We were using saltwater showers straight off the sea up until around October before they were changed to freshwater ones. When I was asked about the Welsh lad Taffy Morris, who died of leukemia, if he got up to anything unusual, I said nothing at the time. When I look back, there was a thing that he experienced. It was one night when he wanted to go to the toilets situated just outside our row of tents. It was the middle of the night and there were no lights. He was gone a long time, and when he got back, he explained that he couldn't see. He sat on the loo and it was full up. There was a lot of dysentery and he had to go and shower straight after. The showers were, at the time, using salt water. It's all ifs and buts and a guessing game, but that's what happened. At the time of the first detonation, all we wore was KG jungle clothing. Looking back over the years, I realized that the area that was the nearest land to all of the detonations must have been contaminated. After I came out of service, I lost touch with the others who I had worked with. As for my health, I have had cancer of the colon and had 2 inches of it removed, and what was left stapled down into the lower colon. I've also had pancreatic cancer and heart stents inserted. Looking back at my brother, sister, mother and father, none of them had suffered from cancer. P.S. I hate being called a guinea pig. We worked hard on that island. What people are saying is that being a guinea pig is morally wrong, but we all worked hard to achieve what we did for our country. Everyone on the island had a purpose. Cheers, Brian Boswell.
Thank you for joining us today as we bring Exposure Magazine to life. Like, subscribe and share for more great podcasts.